Hi everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to do this little daisy style flower. This is done by using a combination of single crochet and double crochet. If you don't yet know how to do these, then please refer back to my previous videos which will help you know how to do those. So you will need some yarn and your hook that coincides with your yarn. I'm using a standard UK and my 3.5 needle hook here. So what you want to do first of all is you want to make your starting ring as a magic ring. Again, if you don't know how to do that, I do have another video that will show you how to do that. But simply what you do is you start off to go make your slip knot, but you work into your slip knot instead of closing that. So you do your chain, and that closes that nice and secure. So like I said here, we're going to work into this magic ring. So if we do 6 single crochets into this magic ring, this obviously represents the amount of petals that you want to do. So if you're wanting to make 5, then only do 5. If you want to make 8 or 7 or more, then just make this initial single crochets here, just do them as many petals as you would like. So we'll do 6. So at this point you then want to close off your magic ring and do your slip stitch to close this into these first loops of your single crochet. Okay, so see how that's nice and closed tight here. So if you normally work your tail in at this point, you work it in around the top, go ahead and do so. I'm going to leave it loose for the time being. So at this point you then want to chain 1 and do 2 single crochets into each of these loops all the way around. So you would want to make these fairly loose. Normally I have quite a tight tension, but if you make these nice and loose, it will make your next round a lot easier. So that's 2 into each, so you should end up with 12 come the end of this row. Now that we're at the end, we just want to do the slip stitch to close this again and complete this ring. Okay, so at this point then we're going to start making our little petals. So what you want to do now is you want to chain 2, and then we're going to do 5 double crochets into the first loop. There we are, so that becomes our first petal. So that can be quite difficult if your tension was quite tight on this second round, which is why it's quite important to leave these quite loose. Then into your second loop of the single crochet, you would do a slip stitch. You would do this the whole way around, so if you then just do another 5 double crochets into the next loop, 3 and 4, and then 5, and then slip stitching. And if you just do that, continue that the whole way around, and this will slowly start forming your little petals. Okay, so now that we're around at the end, we do our last slip stitch here. And then what would happen here is that you would end up with this little gap here. So it's really important to close this off by popping your hook through this first loop in the first petal and slip stitching in there also. That just prevents it having that wee gap there. At this point, you would then cut your yarn. Yarn over and pull this through. I always do this yarn over first before I pull it through because I feel that it just makes that wee loop that bit tighter and it's not going to come loose. So there you have it, your first daisy style flower. You could then sew in these ends or use one of them. You could leave the first one really long and use that to attach it to a piece of work, or you could just sew them in and have them hidden like this and use a different colour. I also like to add little flat beads to the front here to make it look like the centre of the flower. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you found it easy to follow. If you found it informative, if you could give it a wee thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel for further tutorials. Thank you.